Welcome back, warrior. We're highlighting the Book of Mormon and Other Testament of Jesus Christ. We're going to be in Mosiah chapter 23. This is what we are highlighting, and our shielded stillness prompt is remind me how I am already enough because of you. Ooh, and that reminds me of the song by Lauren Daigle titled You Say, right? So good. Okay. Here we go. Chapter 23. I have this little preface here. An account of Alma and the people of the Lord who were driven into the wilderness by the people of King Noah. Okay, Alma, comprising chapters 23 and 24. Alma refuses to be king. He serves as high priest. The Lord chastens his people, and the Lamanites conquer the land of Helam. Amulon, leader of King Noah's wicked priests, rules subject to the Lamanite monarch, about 145 to 121 BC. Okay. You see that right there? Okay. And now, Alma, having been warned of the Lord that the armies of King Noah would come upon them, and having made it known to his people, therefore they gathered together their flocks and took of their grain and departed into the wilderness before the armies of King Noah. And the Lord did strengthen them, that the people of King Noah could not overtake them to destroy them. And they fled 8 days' journey into the wilderness, and they came to a land, yea, even a very beautiful and pleasant land, a land of pure water. And they pitched their tents and began to till the ground. And, hold on, did not, okay. And began to build buildings, yea, and were industrious and did labor exceedingly. Good job. We love hardworking, ambitious people. And the people were desirous that Alma should be their king, for he was beloved by his people. But he said unto them, Behold, it is not expedient that we should have a king, for thus saith the Lord, Ye shall not esteem one flesh above another, or one man shall not think himself above another. Therefore I say unto you, it is not expedient that ye should have a king. Nevertheless, if it were possible that ye could always have just men to be your kings, it would be well for you to have a king. But remember the iniquity of King Noah and his priests, and I myself was caught in a snare, and did many things which were abominable in the sight of the Lord, which caused me sore repentance. Nevertheless, after much tribulation, the Lord did hear my cries, and did answer my prayers, and has made me an instrument in his hands, in bringing so many of you to a knowledge of his truth. Okay. Nevertheless, in this I do not glory, for I am unworthy to glory of myself. And now I say unto you, ye have been oppressed by King Noah, and have been in bondage to him and his priests, and have been brought into iniquity by them. Therefore you are bound with the bands of iniquity. And now as ye have been delivered by the power of God out of these bonds, yea, even out of the hands of King Noah and his people, and also from the bonds of iniquity, even so I desire that ye should stand fast in this liberty wherewith ye have been made free, and that ye trust no man to be a king over you. And also trust no one to be your teacher nor your minister, except he be a man of God, walking in his ways and keeping his commandments. Thus did Alma teach his people that every man should love his neighbor as himself, and there should be no contention among them. And now Alma was their high priest, being the founder of their church. And it came to pass that none received authority to preach or to teach, except it were by him from God. Therefore he consecrated all their priests and all their teachers, and none were consecrated except they were just men. Therefore they did watch over their people, and did nourish them with things pertaining to righteousness. And it came to pass that they began to prosper exceedingly in the land, and they called the land Helam. And it came to pass that they did multiply and prosper exceedingly, and the land of Helam, and they built a city which they called the city of Helam. Okay, we're gonna reverse highlight up until there, Because now we got back into mentions of the Lord. Oh, actually, I did want to highlight. There were some things over here. Iniquity. Okay, I guess. Okay, here we go. Oops, let's go this way. There we go. Almost there. Perfect. Okay. Well, actually, we'll just highlight this piece here. Okay, now remember, King Noah did die, but these are the priests of King Noah who are keeping things going evil, keeping the evil things going. I got confused too. Alrighty. Okay, so let's keep going. Nevertheless, the Lord did see fit. Oh boy. To chasten his people. Yea, he trieth their patience and their faith. Nevertheless, whosoever putteth his trust in him, the same shall be lifted up at the last day. Yea, and thus it was with this people. For behold, I will show unto you that they were brought into bondage, and none could deliver them, but the Lord their God, yea, even the God of Abraham and Isaac and of Jacob. And it came to pass that he did deliver them, and did show forth his mighty power unto them, and great were their rejoicings. Okay. Okay. For behold, it came to pass that while they were in the land of Helam, yea, the city of Helam, while tilling the land round about, behold, an army of the Lamanites was in the borders of the land. Now it came to pass that the brethren of Alma fled from their fields and gathered themselves together in the city of Helam, and they were much frightened because of the appearance of the Lamanites. But Alma went forth and stood among them and exhorted them that they should not be frightened, but that they should remember the Lord their God, and he would deliver them. Therefore they hushed their fears and began to cry unto the Lord, that he would soften the hearts of the Lamanites, that they would spare them and their wives and their children. And it came to pass that the Lord did soften the hearts of the Lamanites, and Alma and his brethren went forth and delivered themselves up into the hands of the Lamanites, took possession of the land of Helam. And the Lamanites took possession of the land of Helam. Now the armies of the Lamanites, which had followed after the people of King Limhi, had been lost in the wilderness for many days. And behold, they had found those priests of King Noah in the place which they called Amulon. And they had begun to possess the land of Amulon and had begun to till the ground. Now the name of the leader of those priests was Amulon. And it came to pass that Amulon did plead with the Lamanites, and he also sent forth their wives, who were the daughters of the Lamanites, to plead with their brethren that they should not destroy their husbands. What? See, I hate that they became the women that they were looking at, that they became their wives. Ugh, makes me sick. So gross and sick. Anyways, and now they're using them back. And the Lamanites had compassion on Amulon and his brethren and did not destroy them because of their wives, of course. But let's not forget that those are not their first wives. Those are their second wives, because they left their first wives and were cowards. And Amulon and his brethren did join the Lamanites, and they were traveling in the wilderness in search of the land of Nephi, when they discovered the land of Helam, which was possessed by Alma and his brethren. And it came to pass that the Lamanites promised unto Alma and his brethren that if they would show them the way which led to the land of Nephi, that they would grant unto them their lives and their liberty. But after Alma had shown them the way that led to the land of Nephi, the Lamanites would not keep their promise, but they set guards round about the land of Helam over Alma and his brethren. And the remainder of them went to the land of Nephi, and a part of them returned to the land of Helam, and also brought with them the wives and the children of the guards who had been left in the land. And the king of the Lamanites had granted unto Amulon that he should be a king and a ruler over his people, who were in the land of Helam. Nevertheless, he should have no power to do anything contrary to the will of the king of the Lamanites. Ugh. So do you see that? I feel like what I'm reading is Amulon is going to go back and be the, where does it say? Ruler, king and ruler over the people of Alma, which were the people who escaped King Noah in the first place, because they wanted to be able to worship the Lord. Oh, this is the worst, you know? Okay, so how am I going to write that in, like, the preface? Because, see, I'm remembering this right now, but I'm totally going to forget this later. All right. It makes me so sick. Cowards get new wives, which were probably younger and cuter. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Because of their wives. I'm going to put a note right here. Then cowards, I should have wrote new wives, but whatever. Cowards' wives knew. And those were the people, those were the Limhi's people. I can't remember who they were. See, sometimes you want to read the whole Book of Mormon all the way through on like one day or something, so that you don't forget what is going on with all the people and their families and he said, she said things. I don't know who's going to end up with these scriptures, but they're going to be like sad. Okay, hold on. So I do want to write right here in the king. Right? Because it's Alma. For behold, it came to pass that while they were in the land of Helam, yep. Okay, so how do I write that? Amulon, a wicked priest, wicked. Amulon, wicked priest, to rule over Alma and his new baptized people. Amulon, wicked priest, stole the daughters of the Lamanites. No, it was the daughters of the Lamanites. Yep, Amulon. Tower's eyes. Okay, that is what we're gonna write right there. We're gonna do the page 191. It says record of Alma's people who escaped from King Noah. Alma refuses to be their king. Right. Okay. 191. Record of Alma's people who escaped from King Noah. Alma refuses to be their king. Okay, and then somehow in 192 we get Alma and people become in bondage to the Lamanites. No, I was going to teach the Lamanites and persecute them. Ugh. Alma and people become in bondage to Lamanites. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Yeah, see, and right here, this does not sound good because he's making Amulon ruler over the people who escaped King Noah. And now the Amulon and his peeps who stole the daughters of the Lamanites are going to be rulers over Alma's people. Oh my days, I can't with these people. So sad. Okay, I would be so frustrated too, Alma. Me too. Okay, all right, that is it for today. There we go. Until Mosiah chapter 24. Stay strong, warrior. Okay, I have to add a little extra onto the back of this because it just kind of triggers a bunch of feelings and emotions. Okay, so the Lamanite daughters, I had to pull it up on my computer. Actually, let's see if we can get it over here. I'm getting like really bad lighting here. Let's see. Okay, so
The account of the Book of Mormon indicates that the kidnapped Lamanite daughters did, in effect, become the wives of King Noah's priests, remember? And their unions were later acknowledged as marriages, and it was like after their abduction, which makes me really like feel icky for these daughters. Like they were abducted and then somehow had a relationship with these guys, like so gross. But then after the people of Alma who escaped King Noah and went into the wilderness, who got baptized and everything, were trying to escape King Noah. Anyway, somehow ends up that hold on, let's see if I can get it straight. Somehow ends up that the Lamanite daughters with the King Noah's priests end up reuniting with the Lamanites, and the Lamanites were about to kill them, except they used their daughters to convince them not to kill them, which would be super awesome for all the peeps who lost their daughters, right? And who had their daughters. I mean, that would be like such a crazy, amazing reunion, and then not amazing reunion, right? Because it's like, you guys abducted our daughters. But I wonder if they even, like, if the Lamanite, well, like, how the story went. Like, how did the Lamanites, or how did the priests of King Noah share the story so that those guys wouldn't just kill them also after the abduction story, right? Like, and maybe they were just like, well, yeah, they abducted us, but like, don't kill them. Like, I don't even know how this story would happen. Anyway, and then to have the Lamanites now taking over the city of Helam, and Alma is over the city of Helam, and to have those people now be subject to the priests and to the old King Noah's priests and Amulon would be crazy, because they left and then it'd feel like they just came back full circle, because now they're going to be under bondage again to them. And that would just be messed up, right? That would just be messed up. Now, these Noah's priests escaped. Where was it? Where did they escape from? Now I'm trying to remember that. They escaped from somewhere, and they have wives somewhere else, like ex-wives, if you will, but not ex, because it wasn't like per choice of the wives. It was like the cowards of these men just like left and abducted other women as their wives, which totally bugs me. So anyway, like, what are your thoughts? And I can't remember who was the other, where the betrayed wives are. Like, where are they right now is who I'm trying to figure out. Like, where are they at and what's going on with them? Okay. Yeah, I know this one had a lot of drama and it brings up a lot of feelings, but I needed to share because I have to put it somewhere. You know what I'm saying? I have to like package it real nice so that I can like place it somewhere else until I can figure it out. But yeah, like I said, like if you're reading this like section by section, chapter by chapter, and it's not like every day that you're just like covering a lot. The story feels very like, wait, what happened? So I know sometimes I like to read the scriptures like really close together. Like I'll do like 30-day challenge, or I've done like a 10-day challenge before. And one time with the youth, we read it in 24 hours. Anyway, it was awesome. But you're able to understand the story more. But I didn't even understand the story. And you know what's interesting? Okay, in the children's book, the cartoon book, Book of Mormon, it does not go into this detail. It does not talk about the women being abducted and then them marrying their captors and then somehow going to a different land and then ruling over the righteous people. Like, I'm like, I was reading, it's actually funny because I'm in this exact spot with our daughter reading these on a nightly basis. And I'm like, wait a minute. It totally says that the daughter, like that they get the daughters back. And I'm like, I wonder if it's because they don't want us to have to like explain, like, where did the daughters go? Why were they abducted? And am I going to be abducted? Because I'm reading this to children. And so I'm like, oh man, because it's crazy. Anyway, all right, until next time, let's see the drama of the Book of Mormon. You know, it really does show like true things and true events because you can't make this stuff up, you know? And it really does show what guys do, you know, what possessed guys do when they are in the fog and just all up on Satan's stuff, you know, and just being super deceived. Anyway, I'm done. Rant over.
Okay, so I had to come back really quick and just say I was reading up a little bit more because of how racy this subject is and how against all that is for me. Apparently, the custom was back in the day that that daughter or that young women or ladies would do like these dancing rituals. So it wasn't like such a random thing that they were dancing, but it was, and I don't know, you could look it up online. I'm totally the worst at explaining stuff like that, but like history and things, but it does say that this ritual of like accepting their daughters back into society and not killing the guys was better because then like the way that their virtue was taken from them, it was better for them to marry those men so that they wouldn't look like dirty or whatever in society because they wouldn't legally be able to marry anyone else because of their situation. And so it was supposed to be like better for them to keep their captor husbands than to kill those guys. I guess there's like also a story of Sabine women back in the day that something happened to them the same way in the Bible also, or I don't know. It's all kind of blending in now because I read a lot of stuff, but it was according to that kind of custom and history that happened in the past like that. So it wasn't as strange, weird, or the worst like we think of it now, if that makes sense. Anyway, I don't know if that helps. For sure, look it up. I don't know how to say all the words the way that they say the words, you know. So anyways, but it is very disturbing.